I know you've been following and watching me, but one thing you haven't done yet is follow me to where I go every day. The demon is intrigued. Poppy really got his attention now. Follow me now. I have something I want to show you before you do any killing today. For the next 13 minutes, not another word was spoken. Not a car or person crossed their path. Their path led to an abandoned cottage in the woods. It was all boarded up, no one could get in or out. It looked exactly like the one in the original Evil Dead film. 40 feet away from the build was a level ground entrance to a tunnel system, similar to the tiny ones built in the World War II by the Japanese. The opening was larger than the small ones built for the war. The demon followed Poppy to the entrance. The well-like tunnel used to have a concrete seal, but it was removed. It was hidden from view from anyone on the ground, and the surrounding trees shielded it from above. Poppy walked down the narrow black metal spiral steps that led into a large concrete-like bunker. The end was one huge low-ceiling concrete room, one way in. There was no light. That didn't matter. The demon could smell first, then see the prizes. Poppy switched on a small torch, focusing on the heads of frightened men. 13 in total. They had been fed regularly. They had been shedding their body fluids and waste for a while. The smell was intoxicating. Poppy would be physically sick at first, but now she just got used to it. They were all alive, making strange noises, like the sounds you would hear from someone that didn't know how to exercise their mouth muscles to speak. That was almost the case here, but their predicament had nothing to do with learning difficulties. It was because their tongues had been removed, along with the lower half of their legs just below the knee, and their lower arms, all removed. The demon instantly knew Poppy was the author of such a bleeding work of body art. She began her unique presentation. These 13 men have tried to take advantage of me over the past 4.5 years. Rape, assault. 3 of them wanted to cut me up and try and pass my flesh for restaurant consumption. You can take their souls or bodies instead for whatever purpose you plan for me. Do the worst to them. The red demon thought for a long while, not moving. The men's trying to screams were gaining more desperation. For what you've been through, I thought I'd be stopping your consistent pain by killing you. Poppy replied, 2 years ago, if we had met sooner, I would be having a different discussion with you, and I would have been happy to look forward to my last breath. Now I have a purpose, removing scum off the streets that the law can't stop. I want to continue this work. I want to supply you, and there's plenty more people out there that don't deserve to spend another minute breathing. My intention is to get those child killers, molesters and abductors down here. I've got all the high-end range of cutting tools. I can guarantee they'll be off any grid because existing safeguards and watch lists in the real world are all bark and no bite. In my little secret world here, I'm making a small but crucial difference. I haven't started any charity when I lost my love. Pumping money into a cause sometimes doesn't do anything. This was an offer the demon was carefully considering. Okay. I'll come here every Friday to collect. We have an arrangement. until I decide otherwise. In the meantime, do you want to witness now what I'm going to do?" Poppy nodded. She wasn't sure if she was going to suffer something far worse than her bunker guests. Films gave her the impression that demons were not creatures of honour, and their twisted portrayal on film informed her never to believe a word. Standing with his 6 red legs, the bulk of his body looked like it was trying to raise the low concrete roof. The demon took a deep breath. The noise it made would burst a newborn baby's eardrums. Poppy thought the walls were actually moving. Suddenly the spirits of the dead parents of some of the 13 started to arrive, walking slowly through the walls. The other living parents arrived in a trance-like state, walking slowly down the metal stairs. The parents and the 13 reduced relatives were about to be cursed to be in the demon's speciality: the family sandwich. The fathers were forced to enter their disfigured, once able-bodied sons, and in turn the raped son was forced to have intercourse with their mothers. The mother's gaping sex, once the door to the world for their son, now brutality opened a hole between the bladder and vagina, in turn creating a urine and feces leakage. The structure of the son's anuses was swollen and the rectum's wall collapsed, creating a pool of raw flesh, pus and blood. The rapid, blunt sex rhythms would cause penis fracture, bone snapping. Then the unbearable evil-making would start again and again, the loop ongoing forever in hell. The demon looked at Poppy and said, "Sometimes responsibility ultimately lies with the parents of this scum." Poppy is still out there working with the demon. Maybe the demon will develop a kind of love and admiration for Poppy, or he may get bored and reunite her with her husband. All I know is that person who killed her husband with a can of beer is next on the list. Apparently for the first time in 4.5 years, Poppy was actually seen with a small but definite smile. I'm Bleeding Critic.